Arizona Democrats make a sharp right turn on immigration reform.
They are now backing a controversial federal bill critics say could expedite deportation for minor non-violent crimes. Political editor Dennis Welch is here. They're taking cues as a referendum from the November election.
Yeah, voters spoke really clearly here in Arizona what they want. And you remember the Secure the Border Act was on the ballot this year, overwhelmingly passed. Right. So it's very clear there's a big desire here that lawmakers do something with the border. And Republicans are rushing to pass this immigration proposal, and they're getting some big help from Arizona's top two Democrats in Congress.
House of Representatives passed its first bill of the new Congress on Monday, the Laken Riley Act.
On this vote, the yeas are 264 and the nays are 159. The bill is passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The proposal is named after the Georgia nursing student who was killed by an undocumented migrant who had previously been arrested for theft. The bill requires federal law enforcement to detain undocumented migrants who commit nonviolent crimes like burglary. The Senate will likely take up the Republican-backed proposal on Friday with the support of Arizona's two Democratic senators, Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego.
Absolutely not. I do not support open borders. A country that doesn't have a border they control is not a country. I absolutely agree with that. And to say that, I've been very proud of making sure that in my time in Congress, I have voted and brought thousands of Border Patrol agents to Arizona.
During his campaign against Kari Lake last year, Gallego ran on tougher border security. He also campaigned on protecting migrants brought here illegally as young children, also known as dreamers.
I don't think dreamers should be deported.
Immigration advocates warned the Laken Riley Act threatens undocumented migrants with deep roots in our communities, including the dreamers Kelly and Gallego have said they would protect.
Look, what happened to Laken Riley is devastating. We're all mourning for her, but I will say that this piece of legislation goes way too far.
Carlos Guevara works for the Washington, D.C.-based immigration hub. He said there is a difference between violent and nonviolent offenders. Guevara said the priority should be going after those migrants who commit serious felonies and threaten the public safety.
This bill problematically, however, would bind the hands of ICE and CBP to essentially pursue this dragnet approach of folks who have less serious offenses that get caught up in the kind of enforcement scheme of this country and could find themselves in prolonged detention as a result.
And again, Gallego has already said he plans to vote for this bill, while Mark Kelly released a statement this afternoon saying he supports the Laken Riley Act because he believes it's the best thing to do to protect the public safety. Guys.
Dennis, I'm interested by the timing of all this coming at the end of President Biden's term. I mean, is this just setting this up for Trump, or is this potentially going to be signed by Biden?
It's one of those things where, they could hold this bill and wait for him to come into office and sign this thing. So timing on that is interesting. This is a new Congress. It's a different makeup on this. And they are being helped by some Democrats. I mean, not just Arizona Democrats in the Senate, what we just pointed out there. Other Democrats in the House voted for this measure. Again, not just here, but across the country. Immigration was a big issue with the presidential election. And politicians, I mean, they can read results of the elections just like anybody else, and they know that the American public, at least at this point, saw this as a big issue, and they are responding to it right now.
Even state Democrats like our governor.
Even state Democrats like our governor. I mean, you saw within days of the election results in November, what's the first stop that she made? She went down to Nogales to tout her Operation Secure plan, which she claims has, rounded up a lot of illegal drugs and guns at the border. The governor is, we're going to hear from her on Monday in her State of the State speech, which kicks off the legislative session. And I would imagine you're going to hear a lot about immigration and border security and things that she wants to accomplish. And she's also going to tout what she's going to say was her accomplishments to those ends in that big speech next week. Because again, like other politicians, Katie Hobbs can read these election results just like anybody else.